Dreaming of the endless sea? Dream no more, your wait is over. Because today we're going to have some fun creating an ocean all to ourselves. I've been playing around with the animated ocean water system by the philosopher, and this is the result. Beautiful, isn't it? Let's take a look, and I'll show you how I set this up. But first, roll the intro. After installing the package, the most obvious thing to start with is to read the directions provided by the author. Where most authors will supply you a PDF document, the philosopher takes a little bit of a different approach. Double-click Directions, and you'll get an in-scene set of instructions on how to use the package. Okay, that works as well. So the directions state that the ocean tiles come in 1000 by 1000 centimeter square tiles. They should be placed side by side to tile seamlessly. One should then place as many tiles as needed in this manner. How many you need is determined by your camera distance and angle. Then follows a warning that each tile is about 90,000 polygons. If you plan on rendering out the entirety of the Pacific Ocean, you might find yourself in need of a new rendering rig. But other than that, the process seems fairly simple. Load up the tiles. Set your material options. Animate. Job done. Alright then. Let's get started. Under Materials we find folders for the ocean floor and the water. The floor textures are Aquarium, Beach Sand, Deep Murky 2, and Shallow Cove. The water textures are Deep Blue, Deep Tropical, Rocky Cape, Shallow Blue, Shallow Clear, and Shallow Tropical. And finally, the ocean tile types are Dead Ocean, Quiet Cove, Rolling Ocean, and Violent Ocean. I'll just pick the first one and go with Dead Ocean. So there's our tile. Let me just move the camera around a bit and see if I can find us a good angle. Looks good. And I can definitely feel the polygon count when moving around. I definitely not recommend keeping iRay enabled while navigating this scene. Let's see what we have to play around with. Expanding the ocean tile node, we find a foam shell and the ocean floor. I can toggle the foam shell on and off to suit my needs and preference. As for the ocean floor, I think I'm going to try out the Shallow Cove. And for the water texture, so many good choices to choose from, and I'm actually quite impressed by the level of realism these provide. But to move things along, I'm just going to pick Shallow Tropical. It's winter right now, and the thought of a tropical sea sounds like just what I need. Let's distance ourselves a bit and see how that looks. Looks pretty good. Let's go with that and move things along. For setting up the water tile grid, I'm going to switch to top view. This provides a good overview for what we're about to do next. The first thing I'm going to do may sound a bit counterintuitive, but stay with me. I'm going to take the tile we just created, the master tile if you will, and move it out of the way. That's right. Away with it. I'll move it 200,000 centimeters to the side, that should do fine for now. The instructions in the package states that we should now proceed to duplicate this node as many times as we need to. We will do things slightly differently. What we'll do instead is that we'll be creating new instances of this master tile. As many as we need. This will help to keep the polygon count somewhat under control. The scene will still be a heavy render, but at least we can try and keep the VRAM requirements as low as possible. I select my water tile, and then select Create, New Node Instances. I give it a label, Instance Group 0, and click Accept. My new instances now appear in my scene. All I need to do is position them to line them up properly. DAS scatters them a bit by default when creating them. This is useful if, for instance, you're creating a forest of trees or something similar. For us though, we need them lined up nice and orderly. I reset the first instance to 0.0. The next one at 1000.0. Then minus 1000.0. Minus 2000.0. And 2000.0. I now have 5 tiles lined up. I add a few more. Minus 3000.0. And 3000.0. I have to zoom out a bit, and then I place down minus 4000.0 and 4000.0. There are likely many ways to achieve what I'm doing here. I don't think this is the best way, but this isn't really meant to be a DAZ Studio tips and tricks video. I get rid of the 10th instance, since I don't really need it for what I'm about to do. And then I duplicate the 9 instances I've created, and put them in instance group 1. I then move the entire instance group 1 down 1000 centimeters. And I think by now, the principle is clear. I'm going to speed up the video now, while I play the copy-pasta game with DAZ for a little bit. With that out of the way, all we have left to do is to set up our animation. I select my master water tile. This is the only tile we need to animate, all the other instance tiles will just mimic the master tile. I then switch to Animate 2 and select the Animated Ocean Water System Ani-blocks. I add an animation layer. And then I drag the Dead Ocean Ani block to the timeline. I switch to the timeline view. And look. We have waves. I decide, I want to go ahead without foam on the waves. It doesn't at all seem very tropical to me. And now, all we have left to do is to render this out. First, I select a nice sky dome for our background. I settle on Sunrise 5 from Orestes. It's a sunrise sky dome and I'm hoping to see some nice sun reflections in the water once we render. I rotate the sky dome to fit. Perfect. And now some render settings. I set it up to render in 4K. And I set it to render a maximum of 100 samples. Twice what the author recommended. Just to be on the safe side. Let's render out a single frame, see what that comes out like. Empty. Guess which idiot forgot to unhide the water tile. Let's try this again. There. You gotta love being able to render at the speed of video editing. Beautiful. And I see the foam is back. This is from back when I hid the master water tile when I was setting up the sky dome. When I unhid the tile back again, I accidentally also brought the foam shell back. Let's quickly get rid of that, before rendering out the entire animation. One more test render, just to make sure everything is now as we expect it. Wonderful. Things look like we expect them to. It's time to render out the animation. I'll set it up to render the timeline as an image series. We'll stitch these images into a video when done. Engage. All done. I'm going to use Photoshop to stitch my images together. There are plenty of alternative software solutions to do this, but I'll only be covering this one. First, I open up a couple of the image files, just to make sure everything looks the way I expect. Then I fire up Photoshop and load in my image series. Be sure to check the box labeled Image Sequence. Otherwise, Photoshop is only going to open up one of your images, not the entire set. Once loaded, there really is only one step to do. Select File, Export, and then Render Video. I render it out in 4K H.264. Pick whatever settings are appropriate for you. And after a quick pause. Even though I accelerate this video, this operation really doesn't take very long for Photoshop to do. We have our finished video. And that's all I have. I've been toying around with the idea of doing more product unboxings or reviews. After the holiday sales season, I now have more than 1,500 products in my DAZ library. Some of them are quite pricey too, if you're not lucky to catch them while a sale is on. If you would like to see more videos like this, please let me know in the comments below. And with that, I wish you all the best. Until next time.